So, can a supermarket cafe compete with a high-end department store cafe? Well, today I'm going to find out because I'm going to be comparing Sainsbury's with John Lewis, and the food we're going to be eating is fish and chips. So let's start off first with Sainsbury's. So I decided on Sainsbury's because it's considered by many as a more premium supermarket, so it's the perfect choice to go up against a high-end department store like John Lewis. The one I'm visiting is in Harrogate, and the building it's located in could probably give a few John Lewis's a run for their money. Let's head in. The main counter of the cafe is situated on the right as you walk in and displays all the menus as well as fresh cakes, pastries and sandwiches. The cafe is a moderately sized one but feels pretty open as there's no walls or columns. There's ample seating available with booths and even comfy chairs if you just fancy a coffee and a break from shopping. Let's grab our tray and get ordering. The menus are located behind the main counter with all the food options available, including breakfast, which you can get all day. But we're not here for that, we're here for the beer battered cod and chips. Plus the usual cup of tea, where you get to add your own milk, although I'm not sure if there's any left in this jug. The cup that you get is large, but I think I do still prefer a teapot. Nevertheless, the tea was good. So here it is, the Sainsbury's beer battered cod and chips. I'm not sure what to say here, but I think I'm a little underwhelmed. Let's have a closer look at what you get. You get a decent sized piece of fish. It might not look it, but it's pretty thick on the wider end. You get a portion of skin on chips, which is a little on the small side I have to say. And you get a portion of garden peas as well. So no mushy peas option here. I think I was expecting it to look a bit better than this, but we'll have to taste it and see. The salt and vinegar are available in sachets along with the tartar sauce, which are Heinz, so a good brand. The first thing we need to do is put on the salt and vinegar. And a little tip I learnt from my previous fish and chip video is to put the vinegar on first so the salt has something to stick to, which I think could be a game-changing move. So I'm trying it out to see what it's like. I'm going to start off with one of the chips. The portion is a little small as mentioned, but the chips are well cooked and have a nice golden colour to them. Let's see what they taste like. It's a nice chip. There's a slight crisp to the outside, the inside is soft and fluffy, you get the salt and vinegar flavour too. I like them. I think we need to try them out with the tartar sauce. The fresh ones are always better than the sachet ones, but it's all we've got. So let's get it out onto the plate and then dip a chip into it. Let's see how this tastes. It's pretty good. You get a tangy and sour flavour, it's a little creamy too, and that combines well with the crisp and fluffy chip. The peas are up next, and as I mentioned previously, no mushy peas option here, these are your only choice. They have a nice green colour, let's try them out. A good standard pea. I don't think you can get these wrong, they pop open when you bite into them and you get a subtle pea flavour. I think we need to start building up a combo bite, so let's go for the chip, tartar sauce and peas. I like that combination. The freshness of the peas goes really well with the crisp chip and tangy tartar sauce. Right, I think it's time for the fish. I have to admit, I was expecting a more crispier fried batter when I read beer battered cod rather than this breaded type batter. Let's cut it in half and see what the fish is like inside. It's a nice white colour. Let's cut off a small piece to try out. The batter is a nice golden brown colour, the fish on the inside looks fresh. Let's give it a taste. That's really tasty. The fish is soft and succulent, it flakes away as you chew, the batter is crisp, and you get the salt and vinegar too. I'm not sure how much you can taste of the beer, but it combines well. I want to try out just the fish on its own, so let's cut off a piece. It has a bright white colour to it, so seems fresh. It says it's cod on the menu, let's take a bite. There's a subtle flavour to the cod, it's delicate and light, pretty good fish. I think we've next got to get a bite with just the batter on its own. I've got a piece right here, I like the colour of it, let's go for it. It's a good tasting batter, but it feels like an upgraded fish finger batter rather than a fish and chip batter, which if it was, I think it would upgrade the level of this fish and chips. I think we need to do some combo bites to really get the full experience of this meal, so I've gone with fish, chips and peas. Here it goes. The salt and vinegar really help combine everything together. You get the crisp batter with the soft fish, the fluffy chips and the freshness from the peas. That was a good bite, but I think this one is going to top that. A combo bite with the tartar sauce. Delicious! The tangy tartar sauce adds an extra element and contrasts the oily fried fish and chips to make for a rounded bite of food. So that was a decent fish and chips. The taste was there, but I think the appearance and portions could have been a bit better. So the total cost of that meal was £8.10. Let's move on to John Lewis. Now, I recently went to the John Lewis Cafe where I compared its breakfast against Marks & Spencer and ended up being a bit disappointed with it, so I'm hoping they can redeem themselves with their fish and chips. This one I'm visiting is a pretty fancy one, located in the Victoria Gate shopping centre in Leeds. The building is really impressive with this diamond design, and it's the biggest store in here, so it's stacking up pretty highly. Hopefully the food can match. Let's head in. This store has 5 floors with a cafe on the 1st and 4th floors. The cafe I want is the one on the 4th floor. So let's head up. It's an impressive escalator ride as the middle is open so you can see all the floors. And we're here. The place to eat. Let's head in. The food counters are laid out food court style with different stations for each type of food, so you just head to the station with the food that you want, which is a little unusual as in most places it's just one counter. It's a large cafe with some of the biggest lampshades I've ever seen in my life. Have you ever seen any bigger than those? I don't think I have. Either way, there's loads of space and seating available. Even some by the window so you can get a good view out as you eat. The menus are located at the entrance to the cafe and at each individual food station, displaying all the food options available. I'm going for the MSC battered cod right there. So let's grab our tray and get ordering. I also got a pot of tea where you get to choose your own tea bags. I went for the English breakfast, but there are others available. You get to fill up the teapot yourself too, which I'm a big fan of, although I don't think that's how you do it. It should be under the screen. Actually, it's not. It should be under the tap after all. How confusing is that? Is it just me, or did anyone else find that confusing too? You get to choose your own cup here too, which I happily did, and you also get to fill up your own milk jug, which is great as you can choose how much you want. The tea set all matches and actually looks fancy, so let's make a cup of tea and have a quick drink before the food arrives. Here it is. The John Lewis fish and chips. How good does this look? I cannot wait to try it all. Let's see what's included in this meal. You get a huge piece of fish with some crispy looking golden batter, which I'm really looking forward to trying. A wedge of lemon. You get a pot of chips that look to be really thick cut ones here, and they look lovely and crisp too. You get a pot of crushed minty peas as opposed to the usual mushy peas or garden peas. And a pot of fresh tartar sauce that looks creamy. What a great looking fish and chips. Let's dig in. I'm going to start off by putting on some salt and vinegar, which you get in sachets. And again, I'm using the trick of putting the vinegar on first so the salt has something to stick to, as I think it worked pretty well at Sainsbury's. I'm also going to squeeze on some lemon as it's included, so why not? I think we need to start with one of these chips. They're really thick cut here, so big and chunky ones. They're a nice golden colour. Let's go in for a bite. Really tasty. You get a slight crisp as soon as you bite into it. You get the oily fried flavour too, along with the salt and vinegar, and the inside is soft and fluffy with a great potato flavour. These are great chips. I have to try one out with the tartar sauce, so let's dip one in and get a good load of sauce on it. This is gonna be good. And it was. You get that sour tangy flavour of the tartar sauce along with the creaminess, and that combines really well with the crisp and oily fried chip. I think having fresh tartar sauce really makes the difference and tastes a lot better than the sachet ones. Let's move on to the crushed minty peas. You usually get mushy peas or garden peas, so it's going to be interesting to see what these are like. They kind of look like a mixture of the two. Let's try it out. Really tasty. You get a strong pea flavour, the mint in there is subtle, and you get a sweetness too. I think I'm a fan of crushed minty peas. I think we need to start building up a combo bite. So let's get a bit of the crushed minty peas, the crispy thick cut chips, and the tangy tartar sauce. This is going to be a great bite of food. I can already tell. Delicious. The flavours combine really well. The peas and tartar sauce just help cut through the oily fried chips to give it a freshness and make for a balanced bite of food. I think it's time for the fish. And what a great looking piece of fish this is. The batter looks crispy and fried to perfection. It's a good size and my mouth is watering just looking at it. Let's cut it in half and have a look at the fish in the middle. That looks incredible. Let's cut off a piece to try out. I've got the batter, I've got the fish, there's only one thing left to do, eat it. Delicious. The batter is crunchy, you get a nice oily fried flavour, you get the salt and vinegar too along with the lemon, the fish on the inside is soft and flaky. I really like this. Let's try out some of the fish on its own. I'm going to cut off a small piece. It flakes right out. It's a nice white colour, so looks fresh. It's time to eat it. Amazing. The fish is soft, delicate and really juicy, so not dry at all. You get the subtle flavour of the cod which comes through well, and it's a thick piece too, so you get a good bite to it. I need to try out the batter next. It's a great golden colour, it's crispy, and it's one of the best things about a fish and chips. So let's just take a bite. Delicious. It's the right thickness to give a good crisp and crunch. The flavour is subtle and it soaks up the salt and vinegar well. It's combo bite time, and this one is crushed minty peas with the fish and chips. Let's try it out. I'm really enjoying this one, but I think this next one is gonna be even better. I've added tartar sauce on it as well. Let's try this one out. Delicious again. The flavours really go well together with the fried fish and chips. and the minty peas and tartar sauce. It's a great combination. I was a little bit apprehensive of coming here after the disappointment of their breakfast, but this has definitely helped redeem them. What a fantastic meal that was. I enjoyed everything on the plate, so the total cost of that meal was £14.30. So which is the better fish and chips? Comment down below which one you preferred. I think for me it has to be John Lewis. Every item tasted better than Sainsbury's. It was a little bit more expensive though, but they take it for me. Okay, if you like fish and chips, click on the thumbs up icon below and click on subscribe to come along for the next food journey, and I'll see you in the next one.